It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Chukat. The question of the week is, what is the real quality of a leader? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha Chukat, we learn about a chukah. In other words, in commandments, there's three types of commandments: edus, chukim, and mishpatim. Edus are testimonies. For example, we celebrate Shabbat because God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. We celebrate Passover because we went out of Egypt. So it's a testimony to something that happened. A mishpat, a law, is a law that even if the Torah didn't give it, we would still have to put it in place. For example, not to steal. It's a godly law, but it's also a civil law. Chukim, on the other hand, it's a statute. Meaning to say is there's no reason, there's no logic. Like, for example, the whole laws of purity and impurity, there's no logic to it. You can be 100% clean, take 10 showers, but you're spiritually impure. You can be spiritually pure and physically not clean. So the whole idea of a chayk is something which is beyond logic. Now, where does one connect more and deeper to God? When it's beyond logic, when there's no reason for the mitzvah. It means the only reason why you're doing it is because God instructed you to do so. But we know on one hand that Moshe Rabbeinu, he knew God shared with him the reasons even for the chayk, even for the statue. So the question is, if Moshe Rabbeinu knew the reason for not only the edus and mishpatim like we all know, but he also knew the reasons for the chukim, so Moshe Rabbeinu is lacking that connection to God on the deepest level where it's beyond comprehension. So the Rebbe explains, because ultimately, even though Moshe Rabbeinu knew the reason, but since Moshe Rabbeinu was the leader of the Jewish people, and the people did not know the reason, and since he was the leader, and the people didn't know the reason, so it bothered him that the people didn't know, and because the people didn't know, on some spiritual level, he didn't either know, and that's why he was able to connect to God on the level of the statue based on his connection to the people. So to answer the question, what is the real quality of a leader? The real quality of a leader is someone that connects to the people, and the people's pain, the people's concern becomes his concern. Which this week we're celebrating the yahrzeit of the Gimel Tammuz of the Rebbe's passing, who obviously was a real leader who connected to each and every one of us, and may his memory be a blessing for all of us. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. I'd like to dedicate and wish a special mazel tov to my daughter Chana on her marriage to Mendy Dunan. Mazel tov. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.